Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from Clearfield, Pennsylvania, teaching this weekend in Clearfield at Let's Dance Dressage. Tonight, our question comes from Julie. And Julie wants to know, what do you do when you have a horse that doesn't accept contact? I have a little quarter horse that came from a rescue. The only background that I have on her is that the people that dumped her at the auction were trying to make her a barrel horse. She has training. She knows all the basics. She also tries to pull the reins out of your hands after riding with even mild contact. She is up to date on teeth floating. So, Julie, I'm glad that you ruled the teeth floating part out. My first question about that, though, is going to be to make sure that the teeth have been checked, evaluated by a qualified equine dentist. There's a lot of folks out there kind of checking teeth that don't really know as much as what they should about a horse's teeth. So make sure that you've got somebody good checking over your horse's teeth. That's always something that I take a look at first when we have a horse that has a difficulty accepting contact. So getting more into this question, the horse that's pulling on the reins, the horse that's resisting the contact, even a mild contact, I want to think about why. So as Julie said, she had the horse's teeth looked at. That's going to be my first go-to. After that, what I want to look at when we're talking about a behavior such as this, the pulling, kind of purging down on the reins, that's generally, and I'm talking just generally in this case, from the horses that I've seen this as a problem in, it's generally the result of either jaw tension, specifically TMJ tension, or back muscle tension, specifically low back tension. So what I want to do is take a look at those two things to make sure that the horse's jaw is soft and relaxed rather than tense or tight. So I would evaluate that, looking at some trigger points and that sort of thing, or potentially have a masseuse come out, or an equine body worker, somebody who's capable, who understands those things, and they can take a look at that for you. Also then in the horse's back, I want to check to make sure that the horse's back is not sore or stiff. Given the story that Julie has given the story that Julie has mentioned about the horse having some barrel training in the past, my mind is going to go right away to some tension in the gaits, tension in the muscles through the back. Now, I understand that that's maybe discriminatory towards barrel horses, but it's a very common thing that we see. So I'm not just labeling that discipline or that job for a horse as being a tense, tight one. I'm just saying it is very common that those horses tend to carry, because of their job, a lot of tension in their back as well as a lot of tension in their neck and jaw. And let's face it, that's where most horses carry their tension, the back and the jaw, all right? Because when we're riding, those are the two primary places that we're having most of our influence or our control. We sit on the back and we are connected to the jaw through the bridle, through the reins. So what I would have you do, Julie, and anyone, is make sure first that the horse's back is not problematic. So we'd be looking at something like chiropractor, masseuse, acupuncturist, some sort of body worker that could rule out troubles that way with the back as well as with the jaw. We're making sure that the teeth are good. I would check to see how the bridle is fitting. If the bit is uncomfortable, if we have something going on that way, that's going to cause problems. Now, going beyond that, assuming that all of those things are okay, we're going to look at how the horse relates to the rider's seat. All right. Julie says that the horse has had some basic training and that she's had some training for barrels. So I would want to make sure that I could ride that horse at all gaits on a slack rein, changing gaits, making my transitions on a slack rein. If I have to pick up the reins at all to control the horse in that situation as far as energy goes and helping to keep them relaxed, then I would say that the horse is not yet ready for any sort of real contact, okay? When we have evaluated the horse, when we've established the fact that we can control the gaits, control the relaxation through our seat, then when we pick up for contact, I'm going to pick up, my idea of contact is that I can feel the end of the rein. I'm not necessarily pulling on my horse's mouth in this case. I wouldn't want to be doing that. I would want to feel where the end of the rein is, and then I would wait until the horse softens to that. It sounds, in Julie's case, it sounds like her horse, when she tries to pick up that contact, is really reaching, pushing, purging. If that continues to be the case after we've taken care of all these other things, then I'm just going to simply fix my hands and wait for the horse to soften mildly to that contact. That might mean that I have to sit there fixed with my hands for 10 or 15 minutes while that horse is purging or pushing or tossing the head or doing something like that, because it can be the case that the horse simply learns that that's the proper response based on their past life history, based on the experience that they've had. They learn that if they pull or they purge or they jerk on the reins, that the rider will release the reins. So there's going to be potentially a bit of retraining in this process, helping the horse to understand that the rider's hands are simply going to sit there and wait until that horse relaxes and softens into the contact. So if we go into it with the idea that we could sit there for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes waiting for the horse to soften into that contact, chances are good it's only going to take a minute or two at most. But a lot of us have the tendency to get impatient, and we want that response, we want that right answer to come through immediately. Give your horse time to think about this. Give your horse time to process this. Basically, we're changing the horse's personal philosophy. We're saying, look, the things that you thought were accurate, the response that you thought was correct before really isn't correct. So we have to wait for them to come through with that better response. So hopefully this answer has been helpful to you, Julie, and to anybody else out there that's watching potentially struggling with a horse with contact issues. So first thing we do, we take care of the physical aspect. So we're talking about dentist, masseuse, chiropractor, acupuncturist, equine body worker, osteopath, anything in there, okay? Anything that has to do with your horse's body, let's take care of that. Make sure that that's no longer part of the equation. And then we want to check and see our tack fit, our bit fit, all of that stuff. Make sure from there that we can control the horse's emotions, helping them to relax and control their gaits, both upward and downward transitions, through our seat alone, not having to pull or babysit with the reins. And then from there, if we still have a challenge with our contact, we're simply going to sit and wait until the horse can change in their personal philosophy. If this has helped you, please share this video. If you know any friends that may be helped by this video, please tag them in the comments section below so that they can get a chance to watch this and hopefully learn as well. Question of the day today. What was the last equine body worker that you have had working on your horse? I'm not talking names. Why, we don't need names unless you want to brag about what a great job they did. I'm talking, was it a chiropractor? Was it an acupuncturist? Was it a masseuse? Any of those things. What was the last equine body worker you had working on your horse? And what was the issue? What was the challenge? Share your answers for me in the comments section below. I'm really looking forward to those. Don't forget, gang, you keep asking questions, I'll keep giving answers. Thanks so much.